your strategic, geoeconomic, and geopolitical news show on YouTube and on the web. Join us for hard-hitting analysis, behind-the-scenes strategy, and brutal commentary. Find out why many consider us the place to get their news and information. Check us out at roguenews.com. Follow us on Twitter at RealRogueNews, Facebook, and most of the popular podcasting apps. Most of all, remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Today is today. And yesterday was today, yesterday. Tomorrow will be today, tomorrow. So live today. So the future today will be as the past today. It is tomorrow.
Oh, that's amazing. Whatever they're putting Joe Biden on.
I want
some sloppy seconds of whatever those drugs are.
I love it, folks. You're listening to RogueNews.com. We have with us the man of the hour who needs no introduction. It is the legendary Matthew Everett, the Brain Trust himself. You can follow him over at the CanadianPatriot.org, RisingTideFoundation.net. Get his books, Symphony of Two Americas, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. Is there a Volume 4?
Yeah.
There's a Volume 4. There's a Volume 4, as well as his wife Cynthia's work as well. Amazing job Matthew does. And also the links are all in the description box. And also, guys, check out Algo Factory. If you haven't done so already, check out Algo Factory. It is the place to learn to trade your job and upgrade your life. Trade your job, upgrade your life. Some hard-hitting courses that teach you how not just to trade, but to build an algorithm that trades for you, that does its job, and it's effective, and it's for the low price of a tax write-off of $49.99 a month. For less than $50 a month that you could write off in taxes, algofactory.tech. The link is in the description box. And folks, show your support to Rogue with FJ Balloons. FJ Balloons, NFTs delivered to you weekly on the back of the NFTs. Once you get the FJ Balloons on the back of the NFTs, once we fully launch the program, every week you'll get an NFT for free. That in the back are the headlines. You click the headlines, bang, it takes you directly to the news articles. It is truly amazing. It's minted on the Ethereum blockchain, so when the price of Ethereum goes up, your NFT token goes up. So it's a win-win-win. We've gamified news and politics as we gear up for the new launch of the decentralized, completely uncensorable Rogue News that is 100% blockchain-based and built on Web3. So it's going to be pretty awesome. With that being said, Matthew, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Congratulations on the new initiatives. I know I've been part of the conversation, hearing you brief me on this and just seeing this thing incubate for a couple of years. So it's good to see it finally taking the stage.
Slowly but surely, it's coming together, man. It's coming together. It's just it's a lot of work, bro. It's a lot of work. Matt, I know you got a lot of things. I want to show you this because this Thursday, it's very important in the United States that the Americans know what's coming for them, and I think this is key. I just want to play this for you real quick as well, Matt. So I'd love to have your comment on this. This is like incredible what we're witnessing here. Look at this. This is the southern border, man. Holy moly. Just wow, bro.
Wow. Yeah.
Dude, because this Thursday, Title 42 ends. So we're about to get bombed by over conservative estimates of 700,000, but real estimates are between 1.5 to 2 million people about to barge across the border.
Wow, that's wild.
This is insane. In a time when America's economy is buckling.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's like a perfect storm on so many levels right now. They're really setting the stage right now for a complete shitstorm. The banking system. We've already seen the biggest bank failures, even that have outpaced even what we saw nearly take down the world economy back in 2008. That's not sustainable. At every point, what we're seeing is a replication of Weimar 1923 hyperinflation mixed with elements of the Great Depression 1929 controlled blowout, where all of the broker call loans that had been overvalued by a factor of 400% were all called in a coordinated fashion in 1929 at the exact same moment on the same day, and only those on the inside were allowed to get off with their shirts, and actually made a fortune in a giant wealth transfer. But now you have the physical component. Back in the 1920s, you still had a more viable ability to construct the physical economy.
Yeah.
Where it's been 60 years of destruction of the means of sustaining and improving infrastructure. The war on farmers, on small and medium enterprises, has been ongoing now for 50 years. And that's been devastating. The average life of farmers in terms of their age is like nearly 60. Nobody wants to go into farming. They can't survive. They're being choked. So food production is being annihilated. Food processing facilities are going up in smoke. And then you have an increased amount of human capital being consciously brought in from a country that we've destroyed south of the border. Like, I mean,
dude, this is bad.
People want to be in America because this is going to obviously stoke the flames of a lot of the conservatives, especially, who are desperate. They can't pay their bills. They don't have jobs. Most people are not living a happy financial life right now. So the amount of pain and resentment towards those stealing your low-paying jobs, like Mexicans, is very, very high. This is going to be a kindling, just like we saw in the case of Germany in the 1930s or 20s, even before that, where the economic demoralization creates a situation where people want objects to hate and to rage against. Same thing for America, in the 1929, 30, 31, when eugenics was embraced, because the idea was, like, why are we spending money on keeping useless eaters alive when I can't even feed my family? So eugenics was being really embraced. So all of this stuff, it's really a pressure cooker that's being put consciously on high. That's
Matt, it's crazy. This is a multi-billion-dollar logistics program that's being executed on us with this migrant crisis. And Matt, you hit the nail on the head. We have a buckling economy. We have infrastructure that's mysteriously blowing up left and right? Mm-hmm. Derailments and whatnot. We have food processing facilities that are vital going up in flames. Just like last week when that dairy farm in Texas went up, 18,000 cows died. 18,000 cows. Mm-hmm. So it's incredible what is occurring, man. It's a real pressure cooker, Matt.
Yeah, millions of chickens, eggs are being destroyed over like claims of bird flu. Which itself is a bit of a head fake that's been put out there over the past 20 plus years to basically have a health-based justification for destroying the food supply on another level. Across Canada, I mean, especially in Quebec, you have dairy farmers who are being forced to destroy their excess milk production and egg production because they're over exceeding quotas, and we have very specific quotas at a time of mass hunger. 15,000 children die of hunger every single day on the earth unnecessarily. And in that context, we're destroying excess milk because we have arbitrary quotas that have been put onto farmers, dairy farmers, to produce under, both for partially environmental reasons, we're told, because producing too much is bad for the environment, as well as market reasons, saying that the market supply will be glutted, so we have to ensure that there's the correct pricing on the markets, the free markets that we supposedly champion, by getting them to artificially destroy their excess. It's just insane on so many levels. It's dizzying. It's really dizzying.
It really is, man. I think it's a complete breakdown in society that's occurring. New York is imploding in these fake protests over a 44-time convicted felon, basically, who died supposedly in a chokehold. I think more likely the guy died from whatever drugs he was on.
Oh.
And they're marketing it in the media, and the scumbag politicians are involved in it. They are marketing it as the next George Floyd 2.0. It's societal breakdown like you would not believe, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's not like these people that we were just seeing from Mexico literally just want to come here to steal our jobs, or to live in the land of milk and honey. I don't even think that they think that. It's just that their life in Mexico and their homeland, which they would prefer to be in, as would anybody who leaves their country. The Libyans leaving to go to Greece and Europe across the Mediterranean with huge numbers of deaths and capsized boats every single week. It's still going on. People in the Middle East and North Africa would rather live in their home countries, in Iraq and Libya and Syria. Same thing for Mexico and El Salvador and all of these countries in South America. They would rather not leave. It's just that their lives have been made so unbearable for reasons that most Americans and Canadians don't want to think about, or Europeans, which is that we, under NATO, under the Five Eyes, under the U.S. military-industrial complex, gave our consent to bombing the hell out of these countries in more recent years since 9/11, which accounts for all of the refugees influxing into Europe. And in the case of Mexico, maybe we didn't bomb them militarily, but we consciously carried out a policy of economic destruction due to the fact that they had nationalist presidents who wanted to walk in the footsteps of Lincoln.
You hit the nail on that. This is blowback, man. This is classic CIA blowback. Look, we spent 50 years overthrowing 36 plus democratically elected governments all throughout the world, the majority of which, thanks to the School of Americas and all the other proxy front groups that the CIA created, we've overthrown so many Central and South American governments, put in dictators, created economic failure, destroyed food dependency on themselves, and made them dependent upon us. And now it's like, dude, we're reaping the whirlwind of insanity. It's incredible, man.
The best are these fake Biden leaks in recent a month and a half. There's been a lot of these, not even leaks, I'll call them declassified gifts to the world to see the truths of the past from the misdeeds that have been kept secret by U.S. intelligence, that angelic Biden and Kamala Harris have been so kind to declassify and make public, which reeks of misinformation, one of which being the selective leaks that have been protecting Russia. Apparently, American intelligence for the past 60 years since JFK's murder have been protecting Russia because it was discovered that Lee Harvey Oswald, as was revealed in one of these FBI classified leaks that Biden made public a few months ago, was actually in New Mexico calling up the Soviet embassy in 1963, getting instructions on how the Soviets wanted him to kill JFK. And so we know that there's still 5,000 documents that have remained classified. Despite that fact that there's these documents that have been remaining classified, and those that have been released by Biden are mostly 99% redacted anyway, but this one's not redacted, and it actually shows how finally the U.S. is not going to protect Russia anymore. And basically they're trying to nudge the narrative to make it seem that it wasn't the CIA, it wasn't the 3 different triangulated shooters that killed JFK, but it was actually the Russians. And it's been proven that this actual case that's been known about, that apparently Lee Harvey was walking around in New Mexico, was actually a body double. He was never in New Mexico, making a name for himself, going to every store saying, "I am Lee Harvey Oswald. Here is my money. I want to buy guns to kill a president." Like, this guy walks around.
It's ridiculous.
Like obviously not the guy.
It reminded me of on 9/11 when you had the guy who was on flight 93. I don't know which flight it was. The one that went down to Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Todd Beamer was his name, right? He goes, "Hi, Mom, this is Todd Beamer. You know, Todd." I mean, because that's what I do. Yeah. I don't know when you call your mom, Matt, you'd be like, "Hi, Mom, this is Matthew Aaron."
Yeah. It's so contrived, and that's how people need to realize.
That's how dumb these idiots are.
Yeah, the world is narrative, right? It's storytelling, and people have to really realize how they're being played by. We all like stories. Human beings respond, and this goes back to the days of ancient shamanic rituals and early tribal societies. It was discovered that when you speak allegorically in the form of narratives, you create stories of the various gods doing battle. You can get enchant people. It's a form of sort of the same type of effect one would get from certain types of hypnotic trances. That's what children easily resonate to, because we are a creative species that resonates to stories that tickle the imagination, that act upon concepts of causality, that gives us satisfaction, gives us meaning. Our intellectual guard goes down when we're given a story. That's why Netflix, Hollywood, there's been so much resources by the CIA poured into controlling these domains of stories, because that's how we're best. Our identities, what we can be, what we're supposed to adapt to, are best shaped by the domain of fiction, especially if it's done well. So all that to say, the world is shaped by these sort of creative writers in intelligence agencies that use these techniques and have been used for thousands of years. They're a little bit more refined, but it's the same techniques from ancient Babylon and before that. And when your intelligence agencies come out and circulate information for you that gives you a narrative, you always have to think twice. And the reason why I brought this up with the Lee Harvey Oswald thing, or as you brought up with the 9/11 stories that were being given, is that there's a recent one that Biden just released, a new classified piece of CIA intelligence that he released that showcases that President Lopez Portillo of Mexico from 1977 to 81 was actually a CIA agent the whole time. And this was done not really so much for the American people, so much as it was for to undermine and mindfuck the Mexicans. Because what's been going on for the past 40 plus years in Mexico, especially since Lopez Portillo stood up at the United Nations and called for a debt jubilee when he nationalized the banks of Mexico in 1980-81, when he pushed a massive program of national development around the petroleum industry, around massive infrastructure, and when Lopez Portillo, the president, was working with the presidents of Brazil, of Argentina, of the non-aligned movement led by Indira Gandhi around the same time. Unfortunately, those other Ibero-American presidents were threatened and backed off, leaving Obrador out to hang. He made a lot of enemies amongst the leading bankers of the City of London, of Wall Street, that had controlled the IMF, that had controlled the World Bank, and that worked very hard to overthrow him from the deep state built up, run by the United States and British intelligence inside of Mexico, overthrew him, and ever since have been punishing Mexico economically year after year, destroying the peso, ensuring that no other nationalist leader would ever arise again in Mexico, propping up the drug cartels that would always launder their money through the Wall Street and NASDAQ stock exchange, through the Wall Street banks. That's been the case not only for Mexico, but also for the FARC guerrillas in Colombia, who've been working very closely integrated with the HSBC London-based drug money laundering center, the monarchy's Bank Quds, which has also been caught and found guilty, just like HSBC, for laundering hundreds of billions of dollars of drug money laundering for decades, has been working openly with these narco cartels and narco terrorists of Latin America, as a way to, as well as of the mafia. I mean, but really these regions, both to prop up the global banking octopus, while at the same time creating black money, like money that's off the books, that goes on to fund terrorism, other forms of training centers for terrorist activity, both in the Middle East, for Africa, for Mali, as well as for Latin America itself. And also prop up destabilizing, controlled, organized crime syndicates in these various countries that are deployed to destroy local politicians, mayors, governors, higher up members of parliament of Ibero-American countries, when they get too nationalistic and see their family members kidnapped, killed, or they themselves finding themselves assassinated, as has been the case with dozens and dozens of mayors who stand up against this machine in Mexico itself. So the people, Biden circulated this saying that, oh yeah, no, Obrador was a CIA agent the whole time. Bullshit. Obrador did everything and risked his life to save Mexico, to stand up against this international oligarchy. And Mexico's been punished ever since because of his transgression. And now you're seeing sorry, I said Obrador, but I meant to say Portillo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Portillo. But now Obrador is reviving elements of this, but despite that, not having any allies in the United States or in Canada, which he desperately needs. He does have some allies in China, thank God. He does have allies amongst other Ibero-American countries who hopefully this time can stand up and give him the support he needs to carry out the fight. But frankly, I mean, it's a bad situation across the board. And I saw you had a picture there of Prince
King Charles. His name is King Charles, Matthew. And he's one of your most favorite characters in the global stage. And this is King Charles. And I don't know if we call her Queen Kamala or Kamala Parker, or is she Mistress Queen? I'm not sure what we call her.
I think if you go by King Charles's nickname for her, I think he. Oh no!
What is her nickname?
For himself was the tampon, right? He's like, "I want to be your tampon." that was the most disturbing image that was recorded.
That is disgusting. These people are sick.
When he was still with Princess Diana, before his father killed Diana. Which, by the way, if anybody wants to get a really good story there,
you think the Honorable Prince Philip killed Diana?
Yeah, and Dodi Al-Fayed proved it very well. There's a documentary from 2011.
That is true. I agree with that.
Unlawful Killing.
What, don't you know that sometimes, Matthew, that the cameras, the CCTV cameras that operate in tunnels, all 11 of them could malfunction at the same time? It's total coincidence.
Yes. And the ambulance carrying Princess Diana, who likely was pregnant with Dodi Al-Fayed's child, just had to take a bunch of detours and take an hour and a half to get to a hospital that was 10 minutes away.
They were using MapQuest at that time. They were not using Google Maps. Otherwise, it could have plotted a faster route to the hospital.
Yes, that was probably it. Now, there's so many holes in that story, but I mean, the fact that Diana was actually a moral human being, and I mean, her elimination, I mean, that was intolerable. Having somebody who had a conscience, who was moral, and who understand the how disgusting the internal culture and behavior of the inner oligarchy actually was. Having somebody like that with the type of influence of a queen was just intolerable. So she had to be eliminated. And it's a good reminder just of what the hell is this sickness inside of the entire transatlantic community, because people think of the American empire.
I'm going to write a book on it one day, man.
You should.
I think I figured it out.